Manager Phil Nevin of the, what is it, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim?
Yeah.
Whatever they are. Had never been ejected twice from the same game until Wednesday.
That's a great way to start any story.
How can you...
Be ejected.
Twice.
Yeah, so that's the story we want.
Yeah. Okay, there's a couple we can play with anyway.
Okay. Do you want me to start?
Sure.
Please like, subscribe, and follow. This is True Really News.
Wait a minute, are we recording?
Hang on, let me look. We appear to be.
Okay, good. Go ahead. Carry
Okay. For on today's show, he only said that because I forgot to record.
Oh, I was never going to mention it.
You were just going to allude to it.
Sure. Over and over.
So, coming up on today's show, a guy riding in the car with one of his buddies.
That's always exciting.
And intriguing.
Very. I was saying to myself just the other day, that would be such an intriguing story.
And it frequently leads to hilarity.
Do you know what I did if I would find a story that leads to hilarity?
What?
I would like, subscribe, and follow that place.
See, that's me too. And I'd send them email of stories I thought were worthy of them to TITR@netradio.network.
Do you know the kind of wreck we're going to get now? Because that's about what we're worthy of. I've met
the same direct we've been posting for the past few years.
I don't know what
This is True Really News with Scott Combs and Tony Vercanis. All the news you're about to hear is true,
Really?
as far as you know.
Boy, I'm a baseball fan.
Yes, you are.
I like baseball.
I like going to baseball games with you because you know what's going on.
What I hate, I honestly apologize to Major League Baseball for calling them bad names for the pitch clock. It actually seems to serve some sort of function.
Okay.
But your inane little league mentality of having to ban the thing where they put all the people on one side of the field, the shift.
Oh, yeah. For lefty batters.
Or righties, I suppose.
Yeah.
But mostly lefties.
Yeah.
So great. Now, Max Kepler will be a 240 hitter. And instead of being a major league hitter and figuring out a way not to hit into the shift. But that's just me. Anyway, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, how's that for convoluted?
Oh, my.
Their manager, Phil Nevin, had never been ejected twice from the same game until this week. Which leads me to the thought, how can you be...
They were
twice?
on the international date line playing a game. He got thrown out, crossed the line, and got thrown out again because he wasn't thrown out on the next day.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to help you here.
Yeah. Nevin's he's so cute. He said before the game, that's a first. Yeah. In the ninth inning with the score tied at 2, Mike Trout was called out on a full count check swing by the first base ump, Will Little.
Okay.
So one of the top 2 baseball players in the world, probably.
Yep.
Is rung up on a check swing by an umpire who we'll never hear from again.
And probably nobody's happy with that.
And left 2 guys on base? Of course not.
Yeah.
So the manager, Phil Nevin, emerged from the dugout, yells and points at Little, and was tossed. But he continued on past the foul line to approach Little himself and was then thrown out again by plate umpire Lance Barksdale. So was the first one like a trial ejection?
Well, they wanted to make sure it stuck, so he'll have to come late to the next game.
Nevin in his press conference said he told Barksdale he'd already been tossed out just to let you know. And the umpire
told him.
And according to Nevin, the umpire said, "Oh, I'm sorry." Nevin had to leave the dugout, so he was in right field. Actually, he had to walk out to the short right field to tell Little his thoughts because I think the umpire was running from him because he just rung up a Hall of Famer. What are you doing, you idiot? New York won 3-2, by the way, which, of course, no one's happy about except the few million psychotic Yankee fans.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not even all New Yorkers.
No, yeah, well, there is that.
There are Mets fans who go,
that.
"Bastard, why'd he do that?"
So this guy's riding in a car with one of his buddies. They were going way over the speed limit on a pretty empty county highway. He is going 90-ish on a 55 mile per hour limit. Suddenly, we hear
90-ish?
90-ish, so probably in excess of 90.
I'm guessing.
We hear a patrol car behind us. We slow down, pull over. Officer walks up to the window and says in a country accent with a grin on his face, "Boy, I've been waiting for you all day." Driver of the car, my friend, didn't even hesitate for a second before he said, "Sorry, officer, I got here as fast as I could."
Touche.
Officer was in tears for the next 20 seconds.
You had to laugh.
Laughing uncontrollably.
I mean, you had to.
My friend got off with a warning.
Well, when you're that clever, come on.
The officer told him it was the first time anyone had made him laugh that hard while he was on duty. See, it doesn't pay to be grumpy with cops. It does, however, pay to be charming.
It always pays to be nice and fun.
There we are.
By the way, about the Mets-Yankees thing.
Yeah.
I want to say Donnie Wahlberg, but don't hold me to this. They wanted him to wear a Yankees cap. He's a Boston kid.
Oh, sure, absolutely, right.
So if it's not Donnie, it's some other Boston area actor.
Yep.
They wanted him to wear a Yankee cap, and he can't, just cannot.
I am so
sorry. After 2 days of negotiations, they figured out a Mets cap would be okay. That is why, if you ever watch Blue Bloods, I'm sure that the Blue Blood family types, the Reagans, are Mets fans, not Yankee fans.
Yeah.
A convicted felon in Florida who appeared in a social media post holding a handgun, what's wrong there, was sentenced to 2.5 years in federal prison.
Shocked.
Well, when you're a convicted felon,
you're not supposed to have the gun.
23-year-old Terry Flournoy, who is obviously not that bright, was sentenced in Fort Myers federal court.
Had he been bright at all, he'd have changed his last name.
And not pictured himself with a handgun.
There is that.
He pled guilty in December to illegally possessing a firearm. Fort Myers police officers arrest him in April of 2020 on an active arrest warrant after he posted the video on Instagram at a local restaurant, according to the court documents. Great. So not only do you have the weapon, but you're flaunting it in public, Mr. Flournoy. If that is your real name. That same day, prosecutors said he posted another video on social media pointing what appeared to be a Glock pistol at the camera.
So, more guns.
So, he's got that going for him. During the arrest, officers say they located a loaded Glock, and his fingerprint was later recovered from the gun's magazine. As a convicted felon, of course, what can't you do? You can't own and or possess a firearm or ammunition under federal law. His convictions, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
Vehicle theft, firearm theft, burglary.
No mention of the idiocy. Perhaps they didn't need it to get. He
might want to, I don't know, maybe consider a different line of work.
Yeah, go do something useful.
Yeah.
Go sleep on the prairie. That's what I want you to do.
Oh, then you get run over by a buffalo, and that's a whole nother thing.
So,
buffaloes just don't pay attention.
Have you ever been in a bank when it was robbed?
I have not.
I've
watched it several times on television.
Yeah, but I've walked into a bank after it had been robbed. And it was clear I wasn't going to get what I wanted, so I left.
You robbed a different bank.
Yeah, I robbed. Crap, my brother's already been here. In any case, this bank teller...
If a Combs is going to pull off a robbery, it's going to be Sue. Maybe Lisa. But definitely not one of the boys. No. No.
So...
I'm sorry, carry on, my wayward son.
This person used to work as a bank teller in a really nice neighborhood. Didn't have any special glass or security because it was one of those suburbs.
In a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, one day I'm looking across the lobby at the glass doors leading to the parking lot when I see a man wearing a mask running towards the building. My heart immediately drops and I start saying, please be a joke. Please be a joke. Please, really, really bad joke.
Be funny. Be funny.
My worst nightmare.
And if not now, later, be funny.
Well, it wasn't a joke. The guy busts in, brandishes his piece, yells, "Everybody freeze!" Sticks the piece in. Yes, he actually said that. Oh, wait for his next quote. You're going to love it. He sticks the piece in my face, tells me to give him the money.
Okay.
See, this was my half day. I'd just gotten there, and I didn't have any money in my drawer.
Oops.
I tried to stutter out. See, I just got here and don't have my drawer yet. And he wasn't listening. He was just yelling and agitated. There were two other tellers next to me, and they did have money. So I glance over there thinking maybe if they give the guy some money, he'll be happy. Only they're frozen, shaking and crying.
Well, they're being held up by a guy with a gun.
Can't say I blame him.
Understandable.
The only reason I wasn't a mess was because I was too focused on that thing in my face. So they were no help. Luckily, they had their keys.
What did the man look like? The barrel of the gun, sir.
Well, that barrel's going to look this big.
Focused on that.
So they were no help. Luckily, they had their keys to their drawers, and I thought, screw it. Better give this guy something. So I started pulling cash out of the other teller's drawer and stuffing it in the guy's duffel bag. It worked. He grabbed it and ran out. Everyone was shook up and crying. So the bank had a therapist come in that very afternoon. She comforted everyone and told us, look, statistically speaking, something like that would never happen again.
Oh, why do those feel like famous last words?
3 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks later.
That light wasn't a train, darn it.
The same guy came running back into the bank with a piece.
To apologize?
Even though he wore a mask, we knew it was the same guy because he yelled, "Let's do it again!" This time I had cash in the drawer, so things went a lot smoother, but it messed with my head for a very long time afterward. They didn't catch the guy for 2 years.
Now I sell smoothies at Orange Julius.
Right, and I'm happy.
It's just, and no one points guns at me. Little kids are annoying, but just annoying.
Orange.
Hang on. Nope.
This is true, really news. Send email to TITR@netradio.network.